to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning into Story Times with Renee. Story Times with Renee, you know, I was in a rush making my name. I'm just like, you know, I need a fucking name for my channel because I've been holding off on videos for like the past 2 years. I wish I had started this back in 2020 when I was more serious about doing story times, but I kept procrastinating and saying, oh, I don't have the proper camera, I don't have this, I don't have that. And all I had to do was pretty much use my phone and get a fucking ring light, and that is it. At the end of the day, like, I'm just telling story times about my life, and yeah. Anyways, before I tune into the story, you guys like and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below when I'm done telling the story, of course. But, you know, like and subscribe to my channel. Show your girl some love. And yeah, so pretty much today's story time, it's a random story. So pretty much it's about a time. So pretty much the story is about a time where, you know, I was with this guy. I was talking to this guy. I don't know what to fucking call it. I had a guy friend, and pretty much, yeah. I don't even know what to title this story. I don't know where to start with this story, but let me just ask you guys this. Do you guys think you're psychic? Do you guys believe in do you guys trust your intuition? Like, do you guys trust your instincts? Like, do you feel like your instincts are telling you certain things? Like, for example, don't pour that milk on that guy. Like, you know, just something random. Don't pour the milk on him, or, you know, something in your mind is just like, you know. So pretty much the story is about the time where I was with this guy and he pretty much got jumped right in front of me. And it was just so shocking because, like, oh, what the fuck? Let's just go back into time. So at this time, I was probably 18 years old again, because everything happened at 18 for the most part that I can remember. So let's just go back into time on how I even met this guy. And what are we gonna call him anyways? I wanna call him Neat. Clean boy. I'm gonna call this guy Shorty because he was short. So there was one day where me and this guy that I knew from high school, he told me to come by to his area and let's chill. So this friend that I know from high school, I'm gonna call him Curly because he had curly hair. Curly now, he's like, oh, like, you know, come to the spot, let's chill. Me and my boys in here, we're gonna smoke. It wasn't anything crazy. All we did was smoke in the staircase, but pretty much we were there and this guy came and I'm just like, okay, like, you know, kind of cute. Like, you know, at the time I was into, I don't know if I want to say his race. I don't know if it's saying too much, but I was pretty much into that kind, you know. I was into that race at the time. He was Asian, okay. There's this Asian guy that came and, you know, I'm just like, okay, like, you know, that's your friend. Like, all right, cool. Like, he looks good, whatever, whatever. Shorty. So whatever, I'm looking at Shorty, like, you know, we're just talking. We're all just chilling. We're all just smoking. Everything's cool. So at the time, I used to take the bus when I was 18, of course. Didn't have a whip yet. So anyway, so 18, met up with the guy. His friends are there. After now, when we're done chilling, we went to the store to go buy a few things, and then we went to the bus stop. So me and Shorty, like, we clicked, like, we were good. We went to the bus stop because we were leaving Curly. We said bye to Curly, whatever. We ended up going to wherever we were going. I was taking the same bus as him. We weren't going to the same place, but we were taking the same bus to maybe a specific train station. So pretty much on the bus, we were just talking and getting to know each other. It was cool. We clicked. Pretty much, like, he kind of liked me at one point, even, like, just bare drama. I don't even know how to, oh my god. Pretty much with this guy, like, we just clicked, you know, nothing crazy. We were more like, we clicked more on the lust side, like, not really, like, I wasn't digging him in a relationship type way, even though I know that he kind of did catch feelings for me after the fact, but I wasn't really looking for that. Like, you know, at the time, like, guys are just, those are the times where I was learning how guys are and, you know, kind of using them at that time even too. So there were a few times where I did sleep over at his house and we would chill a few times. It was good. We clicked, you know. He would tell me about this girl that he likes, and it's a girl that I knew from my school back in middle school. And whatever the case, like, I don't even know what to really say about this guy. It's just a guy that I met through Curly, and we would chill a few times, talk a few times. My ex at the time, we're gonna call him, he's not in the story, so I guess I won't give him a name, but my ex at the time, like, he wasn't feeling him. Like, you know, every man that I talked to, my ex wasn't feeling it. I'm just like, you know, like, we're not even together, but this guy somehow, like, try to get into things. So I think it was more so because of what the guy was. They're both the same race. So I feel like that's the reason why it was even a problem. You know what I mean? So there was this one day where randomly I was just like, oh, like, have you ever been jumped? It was just honestly a random question. I'm just like, oh, like, have you ever been jumped? And it's like my instincts just told me to ask him, like, have you ever been jumped by anybody one time? Or, you know, I'm just asking. So he was just like, oh, like, why do you ask? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just asking because, you know, I'm just fucking asking. The area that he lives in, it's not really a good area. So I just had to ask. So I was just like, I'm just asking, blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh, well, you know, some guys get jumped in their time. Like, you know, I feel like every guy gets jumped in their time or whatever the fuck he was saying. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, okay, you've been jumped before. That's okay. Like, you know, that's all right. You survived, you know? So whatever. There was one day we were leaving his house and we were walking on the road, and pretty much like when you're walking, there's like a little tiny plaza on the side. So like there'd be houses and then there's like a little tiny plaza in between the houses. So I remember walking with him and we're just talking. And I remember as we're walking and we see in the convenience store, he's like, oh, how he's gonna go inside. He said he's gonna go inside and get something and how just wait out here, like, you know, he'll be a second. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm waiting outside the store, and as we're walking up to the store even, I noticed that there was like a black man just staring like through the cars. So I'm just like, okay, like, you know, he's standing at the plaza beside the store, but there's also cars there, but I'm seeing him like stand there with the shades on, just staring in our direction. So I'm like, okay, nothing, like, you know, I'm not thinking anything of it. I peep the man. I'm like, okay, whatever, like, it's cool. So shorty comes out the store now, and he's just like, okay, like, you know, let's go. So we're walking, and out of nowhere, the guy that was standing by the store with the shades that I peeped earlier, he walked up in front of us and he stopped both of us on the sidewalk. And I'm just like, what the hell, like, who's this? Like, you know, looking at shorty like, who is this man? Like, you know, Jamaican man, who is this? Like, you know, so then the man's like, oh, you remember me? Strong ass patois. And I'm just like, I'm looking at shorty like, do you remember him? Like, who the fuck is this? Shorty's just like, oh no, like, who are you or whatever. He's like, what do you mean, you remember me? It's like, you know, like, talking like that, what do you mean you remember me? Like, you know, like, getting pissed. And I'm just like, whew. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm just standing on the side and shorty pulled me closer to him. And I'm like, nigga, like, why are you pulling me closer to you? Like, why are you pulling me closer to you? So I'm just like, okay, you know what I mean? Just calm down, peep the situation, see what this is about, and let's move on from this. Like, you know, let's just see what this is about. So the guy's like, oh, remember that time when pretty much you hit up into the car and broke my side mirror and you said you were gonna pay for it, you gave me your number and all that. Oh, now I'm never getting the money to fix my mirror and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh, I remember he told me a situation. Shorty told me that he got hit by a car and the side mirror broke. And I'm like, oh shit, like, are you okay? Like, were you okay? He said he was good. That's all he told me about the story. So now when we see this fucking man standing in front of us, this is the same guy that hit him, apparently. Or maybe he did hit him, or I don't know what the case may be, but pretty much the man was saying that shorty broke his side mirror on his car. And I'm just like, okay. So the guy's like, oh, where's my money? Shorty's just like, I don't have your money. I don't know you. Like, who are you? He's like, you do know me. He's like, isn't this your number? Like, you know, showing him the number. He's like, no, that's not my number. And at the time, shorty had like Beats headphones, and like, you know, at the time shorty had Beats headphones on, and at the time he had an iPhone. I think it was maybe his parents' iPhone, or yeah, I think it was his parents' iPhone at the time, his mom's. Yeah, that's what he had told me. So whatever. The guy's like, oh, you know, run your pockets. And shorty was like, no. So then the man's like, oh, give me your phone. The guy, shorty's like, no, I'm not giving you my phone. You're like, you know, he's standing his ground. I'm like, okay, shorty, like, you know, you're standing your ground. Like, I'm just standing there like, shit, this is so surreal. I'm not used to shit like this. So I'm like, okay, just standing there watching the scene. The guy's like, give me your phone. Like, you know, getting aggressive now. Shorty, he just stepped back. He's like, no, I'm not giving you my phone. What the fuck? So then the man came out of nowhere and just grabbed shorty by the fucking collar, pulled him towards the cars. So now he's in between the cars so that nobody on the road can see what's going on. The only people that can see it is me and whoever else that's standing by the store. You know what I mean? It's a very tiny plaza. So I'm just like, oh my God. He draped him up pretty much, dropped him to the ground, and then they're like, you know, like scrambling on the ground. And I guess the guy was about to punch him in the face. And shorty's like, you know, like, call the police. And then the guy, there's another man that was standing by the store. He's like, oh, leave him, like, you know, allow him, let him go or whatever. And then the man let Shorty go. And then Shorty got up and, like, you know, he just walked away from the scene. And I'm just standing there like, why do I always get into these situations? Like, why do I always get into weird fucking situations? I'm just standing there like, And then the guy came up to me. The man came up to me with the shades on. And he's just like, oh, tell your friends that if I see him again, like, I'll punch him or, like, you know, something like that. And I'm just like, okay, like, whatever, like, you know. And then I just kept it moving. I just walked away. And then I noticed that Shorty was, like, in, like, he was in, like, some neighborhood. I just walked into the neighborhood with him. And then he was just like, oh, my God, like, you know, it's a good thing that you never called the police because I'm on probation or whatever right now. Whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, okay, like, you know. And then he's like, oh, don't tell Curly that this happened. And I'm like, don't fucking kill me. I should have told Curly because Shorty's a waste you at the time. Anyways, he told me not to tell Curly. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, I never ever did tell Curly. But I kept it pushing. And it's just so fucked up that that happened because even the time that he told me that he did get jumped before, I met a guy maybe a year later. And he lives in the same building that Shorty lives in. And the guy was pretty much telling me that how do you know Shorty? Like, I swear I jumped that guy before. Like, I robbed that guy before. And I'm like, a lie of this. Like, you know, I'm like, wow, like, this is probably the same guy that jumped Shorty the time that I had asked him if he got jumped. So I'm just like, damn, like, this world is mad small. Like, everybody knows everybody. But super short story. I thought it was crazy back then. Like, being in the moment of that, I'm just like, this is fucked. Like, anything could have happened. Like, he could have got shot. He could have got beat up way more. There could have been way more guys on him. Like, you know, he's lucky that there was even a man there that told the man to stop. He's lucky. What could I do? I'm just there. Like, you know, this is not my man. But that's pretty much the end of my story, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. Comment below if you guys have ever been in crazy situations like this. And let me know, you know, show me some love. But thank you guys so much otherwise. And I will see you again in my next story time. All right. Thank you. Bye.